Officer Ramsey's here with every Fisherman Kingtower activation in the game. If you like what you're seeing, make sure you drop a like and a follow, and if you want to see this stuff live, check my bio for my Twitch information. Starting off with the basics, you always want to put the Fisherman one tile in front of the Kingtower and one to the opposite lane, and it'll pull stuff like Hog Rider and more things that you will see soon. Next up is the Royal Hogs. You put the Fisherman in the same place that you put for the Hog Rider. Same with the Ram Rider, as you will see next. The Ram Rider's coming in, and a quick pull. You guys starting to see a pattern at this point, or is it just me? One tile in front of the Kingtower to the opposite lane to pull the Giant for the activation. It might seem easy so far, but trust me, it gets harder, but not for the Ice Golem. One tile in front of the Kingtower to the opposite lane, Polarino, Pepperino. As for the Goblin Giant, I typically don't end up going for this Kingtower activation because it ends up doing so much damage against the Princess Tower, but if you want to do it, then it's the same placement as before. Alright, last one before we get into the juicy stuff. This Elixir Golem, the same thing as we were doing previously. As for the P.E.K.K.A, you want to make sure that you time it correctly because if it gets a swing in your Princess Tower, it will do a lot of damage. Also, if you have something in your hand that's not that expensive, you can put it down to stop the P.E.K.K.A after it does too much damage to your Kingtower. For Mega Knight, this will work if you make a jump on the tower, but preferably you want to put down a 1 Elixir card like I do here with the E-Spirit, and then you want to fastly put down the Fisherman, and then it will Kingtower activate. For the Giant Skeleton, it's much better to place the Fisherman too late than too early, because if you place it too early, the Fisherman will walk towards the Princess Tower, and the death damage from the Skeleton Bomb will hit the Princess Tower, and that will be a lot of damage. Boom! Tip time with Ramsey. So for the Golem, you can do it in the normal spot like I do right here, but preferably if you put the Fisherman one tile to the right, they can't NATO it, and also they can't lightning it, so it works very good for Golem, and as you'll see in a second, it also works for E-Giant because they also use Tornado and Lightning, and not a lot of people know this, so please don't tell anyone. For Dark Prince, you want to make sure you put down a 1 Elixir card to stop the charge, and then 1, 2, 3, same spot, Polarino. I actually didn't know this worked until I started making this video, but you can actually activate with Royal Ghost. If you put it in a far away spot, the Fisherman will walk closer to it, and then BAM! Activation! What? For the Valk, it's better to be late than early, but you don't want to be too late or it'll do a lot of damage to your tower. Finally, a new placement, but for the next few cards, you want to make sure you put the Fisherman near your Princess Tower like this, in this case the Executioner, and it will activate. As for the Bowler, you want to make sure you put it down in the same place as before. I put it in a little bit of a weird spot here, but it still works, and boom, activation. As for the Magic Archer, you want to put it down in the same place, but please note that the Magic Archer can die, so you want to make sure it stops before the bridge like that, and then pull it, and then it will activate. If you really want to flex on your opponent, you can pull the Magic Archer straight over the bridge like this. It's kind of sick, and it works, and it activates. As for the coolest Kingtower activation in the entire game, if they place a mine in the back or the back right, you can place your Fisherman in the back right of the Kingtower, and it will activate. What?